had the unfortunate experience of attending a wealthy man's funeral. A man who had earned all that could be earned. A man that had achieved all that could be achieved. And once the preacher had finished waxing lyrical with all this man's accolades, he made this unfortunate moment where he asked the congregation who would like to come up and reminisce or speak about this man's impact upon their lives. Nobody responded. And it got me thinking about this quote that rings so true for us by Andy Stanley that said, "Our lives are measured by not what we gain, but by what we give away." And that flies in the face of conventional wisdom in this world. You see, one of the most popular hashtags in our life today, with 4.1 billion hits over the last year, with the Google searches in the millions and billions, is a search that says, "Live your best life now." We have this preoccupation with the here and now, and whoever gains the most toys in this life wins, it seems. It's the lie of the world says it's by better, stronger, faster, more that you will achieve happiness now. And that's why we as Christ followers need to embrace the spiritual discipline of sacrifice more than ever. And this is a discipline that when I say it, I know the mind can go to, that's for the spiritual elite, sacrifice. It's for the monk. It's for the monastery. It's for the devout, the overtly religious. Not for me, not for an ordinary person like me. And that's where I want to cry foul, because I want to tell you that sacrifice, the spiritual discipline of sacrifice is it's not something radical. It's baseline biblical. This is for every Christ follower. Jesus says it himself in his Mark 8 manifesto of what it means to be a Christ follower. He says, deny yourself. He says, lose yourself. He ultimately says, die to self. And that is the appeal of the gospel, is actually of sacrifice. One of sacrifice. And Romans 12 verse 1 says this incredible scripture that I'd love to read to you now. It says this, it says, in view of God's mercy. And it starts off by saying, in view of God's mercy, meaning it's in response to God's mercy, in response to what he's done. It's not to try and earn God's favor. Sacrificing is not earning God's favor. It's in view of God's mercy. It continues, Paul saying, I urge you, I plead with you, I implore you, ultimately I command you to present yourself. And that command, that urging of to present ourselves is in the present continuous, not just a one-time thing. It's a daily habit. It's a continual discipline of laying ourselves down. It says, to present yourself before God as a living sacrifice. Meaning this is not something that we have to do out there. This is our lives laid down on the altar. And it says, this is your appropriate act of worship. If you, like me, are wanting to give up the spirit of this world and give up the cravings of our flesh, we have to embrace the spiritual discipline of sacrifice. And we can do that in three ways. We have to firstly give in to the Spirit of God. He wants us to partner with Him. He's wanting us to give us new desires. He says, will you give into my leading? Would you follow me? Would you give into my promptings and keep in step with me? Give into the Spirit of God. Secondly, give out. We are people that are always wanting to look inwards, but actually sacrifice starts with us looking outwards, away from ourselves. And we have to give out, sacrificing our time, our talents, our treasures for the sake of others. And thirdly, we have to give away. That's how practical it is. It's giving away things. It's giving away your ideas, your thoughts, your potential. Give it away for the sake that others may live. When we give into God, when we give out away from ourselves, when we give away to others, we'll start to realize the potential and power of the Spirit and the spiritual discipline of sacrifice. I want to land with Galatians 6 says the scripture we know and love so well. It says that God will not be mocked. We will reap what we sow. And I want to encourage us that actually our lives are not measured by what we gain, but they're more measured by what we give away. And I pray that as we embrace the spiritual discipline of sacrifice again and again, in view of God's mercy, as a spiritual discipline of responding to Him, that actually when we get to the end of our days, we'll be able to have lived a rich and wealthy life, not measured by the things of this world, but measured by what we gave away, what we gave out, and what we gave into. I pray this for us as we embrace the spiritual discipline.